U.S. markets split, Dow rises, Nasdaq falls amid trade deadline uncertainty. In a surprising twist, Wall Street indexes ended the day split, with the Dow climbing while the Nasdaq dipped, as investors grappled with mixed corporate earnings reports and falling oil prices as the looming trade deadline approached. But here's where it gets controversial. Will the ongoing trade war continue to escalate, or will there be a breakthrough before the August 12 deadline? New York, July 22, Reuters. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average saw a modest gain, reaching 44,502.19, up 0.4% or 179.12 points. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq Composite fell slightly, closing at 20,892.69, down 0.39% or 81.49 points. Crude oil prices also took a hit, settling at $66.21 per barrel for U.S. crude and $68.59 per barrel for Brent, both reflecting concerns about global demand. Gold, however, found a safe haven, extending its gains to $3,431.87 per ounce, as the U.S. dollar weakened. This softening of the dollar made gold more attractive to international buyers. U.S. Treasury yields also showed a decline, easing for the third consecutive session, with the 10-year note yielding 4.342% and the 30-year bond yielding 4.9111%. Investors are looking for clear signals, commented Robert Pavlik, a seasoned portfolio manager at Dakota Wealth in Connecticut. Companies are providing mixed forecasts, especially regarding the impact of tariffs and the overall economic direction. Second quarter earnings season was in full swing, with nearly one-fifth of S&P 500 companies having reported their results. Interestingly, 79% of these companies exceeded analysts' expectations, a significant improvement from the 5.8% growth forecasted on July 1. Analysts now predict an aggregate year-on-year S&P 500 earnings growth of 7%. However, the ripple effects of the trade war were evident in corporate earnings. General Motors, for instance, saw its second quarter core profit plummet by 32%, largely due to the hefty tariff costs totaling $1.1 billion. This underscores how deeply the trade tensions are affecting major corporations. The prospects for a US-EU trade deal seemed dimmer as the August 1 deadline neared. EU member states were reportedly preparing potential anti-coercion retaliatory measures in response to ongoing trade disputes. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent indicated plans to meet with his Chinese counterpart to discuss possibly extending the August 12 trade talks deadline. Trade negotiations often drag on until the last minute, observed Chuck Carlson, CEO of Horizon Investment Services in Indiana. But Trump will need to deliver tangible results eventually. Otherwise, his credibility as a negotiator will take a hit. While domestic markets showed mixed performances, global indices reflected similar sentiments. MSCI's broad stock market gauge climbed by 0.07%, while the Pan-European Stoxx 600 fell by 0.41%. Emerging market stocks also saw a decline of 0.31%, and Asian-Pacific indices outside Japan closed lower by 0.17%. The dollar's value continued to wane as investors held off on major currency movements, awaiting developments in the ongoing trade negotiations. The dollar index dropped 0.5% to 97.36, while the euro strengthened to $1.1752, and the dollar weakened against the Japanese yen by 0.56% to 146.56. In the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin saw a slight rise of 1.98% to $119,320.90, whereas Ethereum experienced a dip of 2.41% to $3,668.31. So, what does the future hold? As we approach the crucial trade deadline, will there be a resolution to the ongoing disputes, or will tensions continue to simmer? Your thoughts matter. What do you think will happen next? Share your insights in the comments. Stock market today, Dow, S&P live updates for July 22, 2025. Stock market today, Dow, S&P live updates for July 22nd. July 21st, 2025 at 6:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Updated on July 22nd, 2025 at 4:22 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Wall Street traders gearing up for the start of the high-stakes mega-cap earnings season kept stocks at all-time highs, with investors also parsing the latest tariff developments. Bond yields and the dollar, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/bbdxy:/ind, fell. While the S&P 500, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/spx:/ind, barely budged, more than 400 of its shares rose. A gauge of the Magnificent Seven, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/bm70:ind, giants halted a 9-day advance, but Tesla Incorporated, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/tsla:/US, and Alphabet Incorporated, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/GOOG:/US, climbed before their results. D.R. Horton Incorporated, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/DHI:/US, led a rally in homebuilders. Kohl's Corporation, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/KSS:/US, surged as much as 105%, before paring gains to 38%, in a move reminiscent of the meme era. In late hours, Texas Instruments Incorporated, https://www.bloomberg.com/quote/TXN:/US, gave a disappointing forecast. But here's where it gets controversial. And this is the part most people miss. The megacap earnings season debate. As the high-stakes megacap earnings season approaches, investors are divided on whether the performance reflects true growth or just short-term gains. Some argue that the surge in S&P 500 indices signals strong fundamentals, while others warn of potential overvaluation due to speculative behavior. This divide highlights the importance of analyzing both macroeconomic trends and sector-specific factors. This is the point that could spark differing opinions. What do you think about the implications of these earnings on investors?